And welcome to Up to Speed and our discussion around our 5G documentary, Speed of Thought. Last week, we told you about the documentary and encouraged you all to watch. And today, we're bringing together folks from around the business, as well as some of our external partners, to have a conversation on the documentary and give you a bit of a behind-the-scenes look. But before we get to that, I've got Jeff Plowman from the Global Network and Technology team joining us live to give an update on how the team is preparing for Hurricane Sally, now a Category 2 event. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate you having me. And yeah, just as a quick update, you're all aware we're still working through cleaning up after Laura. You know, we had a historic response with that storm, and we've got a lot of temporary assets still there, and we're working through that one. But at this point, you know, we're shifting our attention to Sally. We prepare, you know, year round for this. The entire network team does, but we're very well prepared for this one. Part and parcel because of Laura. With Laura coming in, we had a lot of temporary assets that we utilized. In fact, the fastest and largest deployment of temporary assets we ever had. All of those assets are in the local vicinity of where Sally's going to hit, so that's just going to make it easier for us there. The other thing that we're doing right now in preparation is just making sure that, you know, our network's clean and we're prepared from a, you know, personnel perspective and making sure everybody's safe. But that's where we're at right now. Looks like more of a flooding type of storm than a windstorm to us. So we're preparing for that aspect of it.
All right. All right, Jeff, thanks so much. And, you know, we'll continue to keep in touch with the network team and get updates as that storm makes landfall. So also wanted to make sure everyone's aware, you know, for our consumer and small business customers in the path of Hurricane Sally, beginning today, Tuesday, September 15th through September 21st, Verizon is providing unlimited calling, texting, and data to those who reside in select parishes and counties within Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. All of those details are on the web. So we've also got Wendy Taccetta joining us today. She's one of the leaders in the Verizon Business Group. So Wendy, you know, when we hear about, you know, these natural disasters, you know, there's conversation that comes to mind about, you know, the work we're doing to support, you know, enterprise customers, but particularly first responders and the community. And, you know, a large part of that, from my understanding, is the VRT. So wanted to talk to you about, you know, what is the VRT and what is the kind of work they're engaged in when it comes to these situations?
So thanks, Katie. I'm so happy to be here today. And I think before I get started, I do want to just give a nod to the network team. Jeff says it so easily. They work for this all the time, and he makes it sound so simple. But let's be honest, our competition wishes they could be as good as us. So I think we all owe them a debt of gratitude, and the first responders are counting on that network work for us to be able to take care of these communities. So 2020 has been an interesting year. I think our purpose has never been clearer as a Verizon Business Group. The idea of what we can do for communities and society in moments of crisis is simply overwhelming. And we talk a lot about how much we feel good about being an essential business at a time like this. And moments like the fires in California and moments like the hurricanes that we're seeing really demonstrate why. Because these communities are experiencing the same kind of year we're all experiencing. The fears of COVID, mobile learning with your children at home, and suddenly the unexpected weather event that you just don't know what's going to happen and where to go and what to do. So Verizon actually has a unique competitive advantage. We've created a Verizon Response Team. This team's job is to answer the calls while the rest of us are sleeping. They take the calls from the Red Cross, they take it from governors, they take it from CAL FIRE, and it is a very small team that actually disperses equipment across the country at a moment's notice. So we use some of the temporary assets that you heard spoken about earlier, but we also have to get creative. And I would be remiss not to say this. It really starts with the public sector sales team. The public sector sales team is out there all the time building these relationships, so they call us instead of calling one of our competitors. And then it's our job to make sure that when they call us, we answer and we exceed their expectations. So that's what's been happening. We actually have over 300 deployments throughout the 8 states on the West Coast since the fire started on June 24th. So this team has been responding for a few months now. They would like to get some rest. So we are counting on them to continue to do that as these fires have been so unpredictable. But we also want them to be creative. So here's a great example. The Santa Clara fires just happened We lost about 400 acres of land. And this team, normally the CAL FIRE team called us and said, hey, can we set up a call center? It's across 7 counties. And if you have any idea about local politics, once you start crossing county lines, information gets hard to really come by. So they wanted to create one number that you could call, whether you were media or you were a citizen. Normally, we would just say, okay, we'll send you phones. Instead, our sales team actually went out there and deployed OneTalk, which is Verizon's solution to create a virtual call center in the middle of a crisis. I mean, that's just an incredible example of not only the products that we sell, but the ways that our team get creative in the middle of the night, in the middle of a crisis. And it's what we call running to a crisis. So the CAL FIRE team has recognized our team. They actually recognized them in front of the entire response team the other day. We're really proud of that, but we're more proud that they continue to call on us. So as we turn to Sally, and we're all watching, and our thoughts and prayers are with the community down there as well, we want to make sure that we continue to be a trusted partner, that we continue to respond when they need us most, and the Verizon Response Team is simply a competitive advantage. And I think our entire public sector team and our entire Verizon team would agree. So I would just close by saying thank you to the network team. You make our job very, very easy. Thanks to our sales team who is out there answering and not just selling things, but building relationships that last. And to my Verizon Response Team, you are the best of the best. Our best was good for today. I know we're going to do it even better. And I think we're going to hear about how we're going to make our network even better next. So thanks, Katie.
Yes, absolutely. And, I've had a chance to see the Verizon Response Team in action, in Wilmington, North Carolina 2 years ago, after a hurricane, devastated that area. And it's really, truly amazing to see, the work that the team does and the relief they bring to the communities when they need it most. So Wendy, thanks so much for joining us. And again, Jeff, I'll echo Wendy's thanks to you and the network team for the work you're doing to get prepared and be ready to be there. It's also a great time to remember V2V, our employee relief fund. If we want to go ahead and take that slide, that fund is there for employees when they're displaced from their homes as the result of a natural disaster or fire or even domestic violence. You can give today to be there for your teammates in their time of need. You can search V2V on VZ to learn more. So as I mentioned earlier, Up to Speed today is all around our new 5G documentary, Speed of Thought. But before we get into that discussion, take a quick look at this video.
A 7-year-old little boy trapped in a bedroom. The little boy's screaming, they can all hear him. And they're searching, giving it their very best effort. No visibility, you just can't see. The screams eventually muffled. They just couldn't make it to him.
We had a young woman in her 40s with an acute heart attack. The total transfer time to get her to our hospital in Grand Rapids was 3 hours. There's a feeling of helplessness as a physician that you know what the treatment is to limit their heart attack, limit their chance of death, but you can't get to them.
Sometimes it's these horrible tragedies that lead us to look for new technologies that can help us do our jobs better.
We as innovators and technologists, we always push a little beyond.
What are the problems that are out there that need to be solved?
You really are risking your life every time you walk across the street.
If you want to start sparking change, ask difficult questions.
Why don't you come in the fire with me?
We used to teach that you had 15, 20 minutes to get out of your home. Today we tell you have 15, 20 seconds.
A lot of people before me have been doing work to break the glass ceiling and provide a pathway. She just break the whole ceiling and bring everybody through.
This is life-saving technology that helps everyone.
The goal is to entirely eliminate serious injuries by 2027.
It's a big leap forward to go from where we were then to what is able to be accomplished with 5G 5th generation.
I think we're going to see stuff that just wasn't possible, and you're going to look back and marvel at it.
Those are just some of the compelling stories you will see as part of Speed of Thought. And I'm excited to have 5 panelists joining me today to talk a little bit more about it. So joining me today, Andrew McKechnie, executive producer of the documentary and our chief creative officer, Sanyagita Shamsundar, vice president of technology development and planning, Elise Neal, VP for new business incubation, Des Jackbier of our network field and engineering team, and Glenn Kontov, founder and CEO of Movers and Shakers, a New York City-based nonprofit that uses uses augmented reality to highlight underrepresented narratives. Before we get into that discussion, I also wanted to give just a quick shout out to two of our other V-teamers featured in the piece, Derek Olerick and Phil Kuthamana. So Andrew, I want to start with you. So we'll start at the beginning. When did the idea for making a documentary around this come about, and how did you narrow down the storylines that would be featured in the piece?
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Well, firstly, I'm super excited that this day is actually upon us. This has actually been a project over 2 years in the making. So one of the inspirations, I guess, in terms of, how this came about was actually when we were working on the keynote for CES 2018 with Hans, and just seeing a lot of the inspiring partnerships that were coming out of the 5G Labs team, a lot of the business, the business group teams as well, and really looking at the great work that they were doing, and it was very formative. We actually had a call to action at the time, and CES, which was come build with us. And to me, it was like, just this new frontier. And one of those early in is taking a leap building on a new technology. And it felt like we were really on the cusp of something, really historical. You don't really realize that when you're in the moment. Capture this time. And a lot of the
Andrew, having a little bit of trouble.
The innovators that were
having a little bit of trouble keeping you at the moment. So why don't we we'll jump back to you in a minute. So
an opportunity to really use technology to fundamentally change people's lives in a really positive way, and that felt like a really.
All right, so Des, I'll jump over to you. So, the true building block of this documentary is our technology, it's our network. So, as for you and your team who are working on building the network out in Arizona, what is some of the work you're doing right now?
Thank you, Katie, and appreciate the opportunity to meet with everyone today and share the great work that the network team was doing. As you saw in the documentary, Hans highlighted the very different network architecture that it takes to build 5G millimeter wave, to design it, engineer it, and implement it at scale throughout the cities due to its shorter wavelength. So to achieve this change, it's been amazing to see the network teams reinvent and retool themselves along every step of the network process, investing in innovation, knowledge share, trust and relationship building across city departments and industry suppliers were some of the keys to success. The journey is still going. We have a lot to build. We've built a lot that we're proud of. But this is the team to get it done. So really happy to see where we've come to date and where we're going.
Yeah. So, my follow-up question for you would be, what kind of, feelings did you have, or what excited you about seeing this documentary? When I look at it and I see, the technology that enables things like robotic surgery and preventing fatal car accidents, it feels like it's really can give the work you're doing every day a real sense of purpose.
Yeah. You say it and I can't stop smiling while I hear you say that, because it was definitely humbling to see the impact that the networks that the team work on every day to deploy 5G is going to have in society as these innovations continue to move forward. There's a tremendous sense of achievement and pride that the team takes in the work that we do to close the digital divide with just the networks that we deliver. So I tell you, I don't know that there's a more proud department out of the V team as when it comes to our network. We cringe when anybody says they have a better network than ours, and we know it's not true. I mean, it's 30 years of investment of doing things the right way that makes the network what it is. So everyone is really proud in this documentary. Does a great job in helping us explain to our families kind of what we do, because it's not always easy to explain. So thanks for all the time and effort that you guys put into the documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to see those use cases come to life and to see really what 5G can enable, which, it's a great segue, I think, to, our next panelist, Elise Neal, whose role includes, the incubation of new software businesses leveraging the power of 5G. So Elise, tell us a little bit about what your team has been working on and what's coming up.
Yeah, so Katie, the thing that we do in new business incubation is we build businesses for a living. We're taking the emergent customer needs that the fourth industrial revolution is presenting we're pairing that with the unique currencies that 5G offers, and we're pairing that on top of or with a SaaS-based kind of platforms and services that are built and owned and managed by our own team here at Verizon. So what does that look like, and what are some of the investments that we're making? The first is in location technology. We see location technology as a critical enabler to all of 5G's automation and autonomy promises. And so, Katie, if you and I today were to meet each other in a pre-COVID world in New York City, we would be blocks apart, we would see each other, we would navigate, we would determine the speed with which we needed to run to come greet each other with a hug, we would avoid obstacles, and I would understand if you were ahead of the crowd or behind the crowd. All of those things happen today in our minds. And what we're doing in location technology and through the innovation of the team is providing all of that consciousness for machines. We are effectively giving them sight. We're transitioning this two-dimensional world into 3 and even 4-dimensional worlds that allow machines to operate autonomously and collectively together alongside humans. One of those businesses that's leveraging the location technology is autonomous mobile robots. We're working with our partners in warehousing and manufacturing facilities to help them begin to operationalize the human-to-machine interaction, to create these symbiotic relationships so that they can begin to scale their machine operations for additional efficiency from 2 robots in R&D to hundreds, if not thousands of robots seamlessly interacting with humans in a safe and orchestrated environment. We're giving them that single pane of glass to begin to participate in this 5G world. But we're not just looking at robots on the ground, we're also talking about robots in the sky. And there's no one that loves first. They just never get old. First never gets old at Skyward. And so in addition to building all of those blocks to be the first 5G and to provide the first 5G connected drone, we are also beginning to chip away at our commitment to be the first to 1 million connected drone flights. And so effectively, as we connect those skies, we're leveraging all of those inherent benefits that our 5G spectrum offers. We're connecting it through software management systems, leveraging it for data and analytics and for organization of the sky between traditional and non-traditional aircraft, and ultimately paving the way for a world where not only do we use drones for inspection and for data collection, but also for package delivery and ultimately people delivery. So one of the favorite quotes that we have, or that I heard from the 5G documentary, was from Barb Barnett, who said, "It is an amazing time right now." And Katie, I can't even begin to express to you what an amazing time it is right now. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Elise. So Glenn, I want to turn it over to you, talking about some of the other, use cases we see when it comes to 5G. And I'll take a page from Elise's book and, give a couple of quotes from the documentary. We heard, Hans say it's a basic right to be connected. And, hear from you that your role as an educator is to expose children to possibilities that they didn't even know existed. So talk to us a little bit more about, movers and shakers and what your mission is.
Absolutely. So, hi, everyone. My name is Glenn. It's a pleasure to be here amongst all of you. So Movers and Shakers, we're a New York-based nonprofit, and our mission statement is that we use augmented reality to write Black and Brown history into American curricula. And so really the genesis of it came from a problem that myself, my co-founder Idris, encountered as kids, is that we didn't see ourselves in our history, number one. And then number two, at least for me, computer science classes weren't even a thing. It wasn't an option, point blank, period. And so, when you're as a Black man, you're looking up at statues of people who would have owned you in the year 2020, that does something to you psychologically. And when you start to notice that, you're not really represented in your history books, but you're, supposed to be a captive audience to specific information, it really does something to you, and it tells you who you are and who you're not at a young age. And so what we're looking to do is use augmented reality to flip the script. And so, in this age with there's Snapchat and there's TikTok and there are people and there's all this dynamic content that's out there, Like, a kid would rather do that than read a book, right? And so we saw this as sort of like a hack in the sense that with the support of the 5G accelerator, number one, 5G opens up the possibility for us to make more immersive and dynamic content in a way that wasn't possible through a 4G network. And then there's obviously lower latency. But then from like a mission perspective, it's, you know, having kids see themselves for the first time in what they're interacting with. And so our product, Unsung, is a multiplayer augmented reality learning experience where kids are learning about four female singers of color who've used their voices to fight for social change in different ways. And they're really, you know, they're using their phones and their tablets and they're clicking and they're playing games, doing different puzzles. And it's just like a more fun, immersive way of engaging with underrepresented stories.
All right. So Glenn, talk to us a little bit about, kind of what you and the team have been up to since the documentary filming was complete. And, as we think about, the back to school season happening now and so many kids, learning in a virtual environment, how does that, make the work that you and your team are doing become even more important?
Yeah. COVID has really changed everything from us in the sense that we were gearing up to launch and prepare in classrooms. But now, because of safety reasons, things have to be remote. And so the importance of what we're doing and the fact that we can just have our content accessible through a device, it changes the game for us because, AR, like our primary emphasis is on accessibility in general. And so if there are millions of kids who are looking for something to do and there are parents who want to swipe them away, in a sense, we can really keep them busy. And so we're modifying Unsung right now to be available for remote learning. And it changes a lot because the question in terms of future of work and future of school, it's like the genie is really out the bottle. And so we're adapting to that environment and we're creating content accordingly.
Very cool. All right. So, as we start to wrap up, Sandy Gita, I have a question for you, and then we'll see if we can get back to Andrew in a minute here. So, Sandy Gita, as the documentary progresses and starts to wrap up, it kind of shifts its focus to kind of, from the work that's been done to, how much more there is to do and how this is really just kind of the beginning of the possibility when it comes to 5G service. So, you're part of the business, technology and product development, is kind of looking forward, to what is to come next. So what can you tell us about, the work you and your teams are doing when it comes to 5G?
Katie, thanks. Excited to be here. And just like what my colleagues here have said, the work started about a couple of years ago when we realized that, we can't build this all ourselves. 5G enables so many different use cases for so many different types of industries, enterprises, small businesses, education, nonprofit, first responders, and our consumers, of course, that we had to bring all of them together under an umbrella that we can help spread the word quickly. And that's where 5G Labs had a big role to play. And that's where actually Glenn's company, where we found movers and shakers as somebody who can build compelling experiences in the learning field. And then we went and did the first responders and so on. And we started off this year with a big bang at the Super Bowl. We had a lot of compelling experiences that delight our consumers, as Ronan likes to say, from a sports perspective. So we had a multi-view type of an app where we could watch the game from various different angles, 5 different video streams streaming, a lot of AR content, and so on and so forth. And then COVID struck. And so the team pivoted, and now we're trying to see where we can quickly deploy some of these innovative technologies from a consumer and business perspective. And what we did more recently at Indy was to show that you can quickly deploy cameras in a stadium, for example, without having a pre-planning of having all the fiber laid out in the stadium or on a racetrack in this case, and use 5G to connect high-quality broadcast cameras. There you go, an enterprise solution potentially that came about within literally no time. And then the Indy folks said, well, we can't bring anyone in, so can you create experiences and so that our customers can enjoy the indie experience. And so we did an AR, 360 degrees immersive experience, which was delivered on 5G smartphones that we deployed. So the team is continuing to work through all these innovations even during this time. And what we're looking forward to is taking these and deploying it with our partners on the VBG side, on the VCG side, and developing compelling technologies for our business customers. For example, safety. That was another area that we explored at the Super Bowl. How do you do crowd management? That becomes even more important in today's world when we are trying to responsibly manage crowds at large venues and stadiums, making sure social distancing rules are applied, and so on and so forth. You can think about using technologies such as computer vision, machine vision, and video analytics to quickly deploy all these types of solutions at large locations. I'm looking forward to commercializing some of those in the near future.
All right. Thanks so much, Sandhya. Yeah, a lot of exciting work coming from the team over the past few months. So, Andrew, let's try to get back to you. We were having a little bit of trouble, hearing you earlier. But, as the executive producer of the documentary, tell us, we know it started, the thought about it started over 2 years ago. When people see it now, what do you hope that they take away from the piece?
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Is the connection a little bit better now?
Seems okay to me right now.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Look, I think, the hope with any kind of documentary is that people will take parts away that are meaningful to them. And I think, for me at least, now the film's been completed, I see a lot of hope and promise that technology can be used to really do big and important things out in the world. That technology can have a positive impact. Healthcare, around education and safety have just become much,
All right. Andrew is on location on set today, so we're having a little bit of trouble with his connection. So we'll start to kind of wrap up our conversation here today. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Speed of Thought yet, there's a couple of ways to do that. Guys, if you want to go ahead and take that next slide, you can check it out on our Inside Verizon app. You can download the app on your work or personal device from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. And beginning tomorrow, September 16th, the film will be available on Amazon Prime, Peacock, and Fios On Demand. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that the film will have its world premiere today at 4:40 p.m. Eastern as part of TechCrunch Disrupt. The premiere will be followed by a panel discussion featuring several of the film's subjects, as well as Sandhya, who has a very busy day ahead. If you're registered for that TechCrunch Disrupt event, be sure to check it out there. So with that, I want to, of course, thank our panelists for joining us today, for being part of this discussion and sharing your thoughts into everything that is to come when it comes to 5G. We really appreciate you being here with us today. So a few things before we wrap up today, if you want to go ahead and take that next slide. This afternoon, Diana Alvear joined her as she hosts a Yahoo News panel called Count Us In. It aims to inform and inspire members of the Latinx community to stand up and be counted in the U.S. Census and the upcoming presidential election. The lively panel discussion will feature thought leaders and newsmakers discussing the crucial importance of filling out the census questionnaire and voting. And later this week, the premiere of the next episode of Next 20, our series about the issues and conversations that will define the next 20 years. In this episode, Brittany Jones Cooper, host and producer at Build Series, moderates a two-part panel on how Gen Z is rocking the status quo in these uncertain times and what this generation expects from brands, educators, and employers to build a stronger and more equitable future. With that will wrap it up for us today. Andy will be back with you here live again tomorrow at noon. Have a great Tuesday, everyone. Until next time, you're up to speed.